Happy, what day is today?
Wednesday.
Wednesday. Oh my goodness. I'm like lost in all the time. Anyway, we wanted to come in and talk to you today about something that we notice that happens a lot, right? I mean, well, it's AI, right? It's AI, it's templates. We love the tools, we use them a lot. However, there are some things that you got to watch out for when you're using AI and templates to build websites. So I'm going to let Andrew talk a little bit more about what to watch out for when using templates to build a website and things to just keep in mind of if you currently have a website that was built based off of using a template.
All right. Yeah, so the first one is, first off, templates. Like, they're all over the place, they're easy to find. And if you find one that is good enough, you'll probably save yourself a lot of money. I get it. I've like been there and I've seen a lot of them around. I get the appeal. The tricky part is you just really want to make sure that, like, at the end of the day, like, when someone comes to your website, it's that first impression, and you got to make sure that first impression really lands with your target audience. Because if they come to see a site that they've sort of seen elsewhere, and it's not really unique, and it could kind of, I'd say, rub them the wrong way, but it doesn't like that. Ultimately, you don't want to make your website forgettable. Like, you want to make sure that, like, when someone comes to your site, you land on, like, or they know what you do, how you do it, how they can get involved. And like what, like, ultimately what's in it for them and how they can get involved to work with you. So if your website is, it's clean-ish, and it's something up there, uh, maybe they'll still connect with you, but you're really running the risk at making yourself, like, sort of, I hate to use the word forgettable, but you're not really helping yourself stand out from your competition. So that's like one big, like, the first big uh, like, consideration when picking, like, a template, for your website. Did you want to sort of add on that, or?
Yeah, I mean it's like your website is, it really is like your it's your digital storefront, right? And it's the way that people get to know you. You know, I'm always coaching the client saying that you want to get people onto the phone, right? Or onto Zoom, right? It's not just this back and forth like through text message. You want to create that relationship. You want to build a know, like, and trust factor. So your website is that first sort of digital impression, right? And so you have the ability and you have the capacity, which is beautiful, is that when people come to your website, they don't actually have to jump into the DMs or jump on a Zoom. They can actually get to know you through the website, through the journey that you're going to take the customer through or the client through when they come to the website, right? Using video, using authentic language, using even just the style, right? Like, there's a lot of science and psychology behind the types of colors you use and the placement of certain things on the page, right? You want to make sure that when you go to someone's site, or sorry, you want to make sure that when your clients are coming to you or your customers are coming to you, that it's like they know you before they've even sort of met you. And so that when they do eventually meet you by maybe coming into a store or meeting for the first time on Zoom, they're like, this makes sense. Because subconsciously, the brain can connect with inauthenticity very easily. So the last thing you want is to create that inauthentic connection between how you appear online and how you show up when you first meet somebody on a Zoom, right? For those of you meeting virtually. And so I think that's just really important to understand. Like, it's not just I'm going to take a template, I'm going to copy and paste information. There is science and there's psychology behind the journey of a customer interacting with your content, and your page is part of that. And so some of the challenges is when you see these sort of copy pasted template, or when you come to it and feel like, oh my goodness, this feels like every other, like, coach's website, or this feels like every other business's website that I've gone to, right? You want to really stand out. So like Andrew said, you don't want to be unforgettable. Sorry, you want to be unforgettable, not forgettable, right? And so the question is, like, the way that you've designed and built your website, have you created it in a way that people are going to remember you, right? Remember the way that you made them feel when they came onto your site, how they interacted with your content, right? And that kind of leads us into the second point of, like, using AI to support you with your content. It is a great tool to support you. And again, it can save a lot of time, but it can also create a lot of inauthenticity. And again, on the neuropsychology point, right, the brain's going to be able to tell that. The brain can connect with when someone's being inauthentic, when someone isn't really themselves. And the last thing you want to do is create a disconnection between really how you're showing up online with your website, that customer journey you're creating for them, and then how you actually are in person. So I know I transitioned to the AI. I moved away from the template piece, but do you want to go back there, or we'll just head into the AI piece?
Yeah, we're talking about AI. And like with AI, like Alex said, it's a great tool. We'd be hypocrites if we say that we don't use it, because we do. We love it. It's a great tool, but it's not a replacement for authentic communication or messaging with your potential clients, your target audience. Like it's a I used to hear the term like AI is it's a glorified assistant. It can write great drafts for you. It can really save you time to get the ball rolling. But you can't think of it as just like a one click or one prompt and then copy paste over. That's just a recipe for disaster. So yeah, AI, it's a great tool, but you can't just stop with copy one prompt copy paste. You got to really massage it. You got to work with the copy. You got to really show your personality or your culture of your company in that copy, so that, like Alex said, that when someone comes and meets you in person, that there is that like you've already kind of created that bridge, or they already have that bit of that familiarity with you, that they, after being consumed your content, that they already know a bit about you, and when they actually meet you, then it's not this like disconnect of like two different personalities or two different businesses, the website versus you. You want to make sure it's pretty seamless transition, so that they already have that built that trust factor with you, and that they'll want to continue that conversation and continue that relationship with you, and want to work with you.
And like Andrew says, it requires massaging. I mean, because we own a digital web agency and we build websites and support our clients with creating the copy, we've massaged different types of templates and prompts that we use, and we still tweak them with every single client, because every single client is very different. I mean, I've got amazing prompts that I use to support with a podcast, but I'm still tweaking. I don't just input and then paste. No, I still take time to go through and make sure, again, does this really sound like me? And does this really speak to my ideal client, right? That's another really key thing, is like, does this speak to, again, the pain points of my client, and really what are they feeling? What are they experiencing? What is the solution that they're looking for? So really leaning into that and using that tone, that personality in your copy that sounds just like you. So these are really things, and I'm guilty of it too, right? I mean, I do spend a lot of time with ChatGPT helping write content, and there are some times where I'll like post something and I'll read it 24 hours later and be like, you know what? I feel like that sounds way too AI. And I think that's what a really key thing is like, use the tool, but then give yourself like, a few hours and come back to the copy and go through it from a different angle and fresh eyes to really ask yourself, like, does that really sound like me? Or does that sound like too much AI? And that's why it's fun to really massage and work with it to find things that do work for you, because it can really support you in the long run. And that's just something that we have with our clients, even with working with their copy of their website, to really get those, like, get really clear on what their tone is, how they really show up, so that it is a continuous flow between how they are when you get to know them and how they show up virtually, like on their website.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, like, you're building trust with your audience, so you got to really think of like how you appear authentically in person, and translate that the best you can to your website, so that you, like Alex said, you have that flow continues from the first impression when people land your website to the consummation of your content, building those trust factors, and then getting to know you, and then it just continues on. And so, yeah, if there's any sort of disconnect anywhere along that customer journey, you're really risking people saying, no, thanks, I think I'm good. Because there's so you just really want to really look at all the different ways of how people connect with you, and make sure that that journey, that flow, is continuous and authentic at the end of the day. So,
like I said, on the brain side of things, right? Looking at our brain, like, gotta always tie in the neuroscience, right? On a subconscious level, the brain can tell when someone's being inauthentic. right? And it might not be initially when they interact with the website at the beginning, but as they're starting to interact and get to know you more, they're going to start to notice like, hey, there's something that doesn't seem right here. There's something that doesn't flow between, all of the different pieces. And so just being really, really mindful of that, right? And as Andrew said, like the trust and authenticity piece is really huge. And right now, especially, our brains are definitely more high alert and it's looking for authenticity. The brain is looking for working and partnering with authentic people who really show up as themselves. I want to say we're all using AI. I believe that many of us are using AI and are using these tools because, yes, they can help save a lot of time, but you also don't want it to get lost in translation who you are and really how you can help them and just creating that genuine connection with the people that you are serving, right? So just really important to remember that. So one, just be mindful of when you're using templates because how they can just feel like another way of being inauthentic of like the copy paste. You want to ensure that it really is like your personality and also going to really connect and on that more psychology level with your ideal client, right? This is why we do bespoke websites and really personalize websites and work with our clients to create a website that really connects with them but also is going to connect with their client. The second thing is just be really mindful of when you're using AI to create your copy and to create your even your social media content, does it sound just like you? Is it using authentic voice? When people are reading it, are they gonna be like, yes, that sounds just like Alex, or that sounds just like Andrew, right? And it's funny because Andrew and I, we have two different tones and two different voices, right? So we can't necessarily use the same copy for both of our stuff because we're two different people and we have two different approaches, right? And so just keeping that in mind. And then the third thing is really just going through and even asking yourself, like, am I creating trust? Am I showing up authentic with what I'm putting out there? And, put stuff like go through it and then put it aside and come back again with that lens of, am I creating that trust? Am I showing up authentic? And am I really, representing myself, right? So that people are connecting with who I am, what I stand for, and how I can really help them with product service transformation, right? So anything else you want to add, Andrew, as we wrap up here today?
Just that, yeah, they're great tools, templates, and AI can save you a lot of time, but you just want to be authentic. You don't want to be generic. You just want to be authentic, so that you show what makes you special, unique, and how you best help people, so that you attract the right people that want to work with you.
Remember, your vibe attracts your tribe, right? So because your vibe attracts your tribe, don't shy away from who you are, your own uniqueness, what makes you you, because it's what makes you you, it's what makes you unique that's going to attract the people that want to work with you and partner with you, right? So always remember that. I know there's so much, right? And again, the neuroscience of the disbelief and, a lot of like the internal like battle of wanting to show up as your true authentic self. Let us be the permission to remind you, yes, show up as your true authentic self, because that's really what people are attracted to, and that's how they want to work with you. And if you're unsure, how your website's performing, how your website's showing up, regarding speaking to your ideal client, regarding your copy and how it's landing, we do offer website audits that'll support you in providing a full report, and you also get to meet with Andrew, and he will support you in giving you some tips and tricks to be able to increase the visibility of your website so you can attract more of your ideal clients, right? Increase your revenue by converting more visitors as well to paying clients and customers. And also, again, just like looking with that we'll say the bird's eye view, but like having somebody else take a look at it to give you honest feedback, to be like, you know what, this seems a little bit generic, this doesn't really sound just like you, and just having a little bit of that feedback, right? Because sometimes we can't see it from our own eyes, so it's nice to have somebody else to take a quick look and to give us honest feedback to see where we can make tweaks. All right, well, thanks for watching, and we'll see you in our next live. Bye.